Come in. Ceri, hi.
Hi.
Come and have a seat there.
Thank you.
How can I help you?
I have a lot of issues with my stomach and I've been diagnosed with constipation dominant IBS, but it's all been triggered from about a food poisoning.
Okay. Food poisoning, what happened? What was it and where?
So I was at work, popped out to lunch, bought a pulled pork and rice hot dish thing. An hour later I started to feel like quite uncomfortable, quite bloated, and then within an hour after that I felt really quite ill, rushed to the toilets in work and was sick and just went home. On the train home, had to get off and threw up a lot. My stomach was really bloated and hard, like you could have bounced a coin off it.
Yeah.
And since then, it's never been right. Literally every time I ate something, it would then trigger, you know, the bloating, pain, constipation. It was just like a downward spiral from then on. Developing
IBS, irritable bowel-like symptoms, after an episode of food poisoning is very real. It happens. It's called post-infectious irritable bowel syndrome.
And I lost a lot of weight over that time because every time I ate, I was ill. So I just didn't want to eat. That was like the safest way for me to manage it. I noticed gluten was kind of like a trigger for the symptoms. So I talked to my GP about it and they said, well, try a gluten-free diet and see how you get on. So I cut out gluten and had like a really good improvement, but still wasn't what I would think of as normal. And then I noticed dairy was having the same effect on me. So I cut that out as well.
So we're on no gluten and no dairy now?
And no soy.
And no soy?
Yeah.
All right. What concerns me is that you're now on such a restrictive diet. It has become all-consuming in your life.
It has.
Hasn't it?
Yeah. My life revolves around it. My social life is very, very different. I mean, I cut out alcohol because that was having like the same effect on me. It just feels like I'll never get better. I'm just worried that this is my life.
If some of her food's been contaminated by one of the food sources that will make her ill, that does mean, you know, potentially a week of irritable behaviour. I get the full brunt of that. You know, I'm happy to take it just because I love her so much, and it's just horrible to see her be in so much pain, and there's nothing I can do, and I.
Hello again.
Hi.
So, Ceri, would you mind if I examine you? I'm just going to feel your tummy and have a look at the skin, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Come on over here.
We want to, you know, own our own property. We want to be married. We want to start a family together and just be happy and healthy.
Is this the worst, down on the right side?
I think down on the left was worse.
Down on the left was worse.
Yeah.
I worry about, you know, us having a family, and with that becomes more difficult. You've got to care for children as well. Worried if they'll be ill, have something similar, or if they make Ceri ill, then that's something I worry about.
We have some recent blood tests,
Yeah.
which are iron, your cholesterol, your thyroid function, that's all fine.
Oh, that's good.
Which is a really good diagnosis, because it means that there isn't anything that you need to be worried about for the future or any other risk for cancers or problems like that. Okay. Along with stool tests being negative, all of that is in keeping with something benign, so something not worrisome.
Okay.
So, Ceri, so far, everything is fitting in with a post-infectious irritable bowel syndrome. The problem, as you know, is managing it. What I've found helps is actually trying to relax the diet.
Okay.
Having a little bit of everything, just a small amount. Eating sensibly, small, frequent meals, a few snacks in between meals. I do think that you would be helped by a laxative, though.
Okay.
And there's a newer kind of laxative right now, which is very safe. It only works on the gut. It reduces the bloating and it reduces the pain. But it would need some follow-up ongoing so that we can make sure that things are getting better. And that's a positive diagnosis, because it doesn't yet. I've had people sit here and burst into tears over it.
I'm close.
Are you?
I'm concerned that there's something kind of more sinister underlying it. It's kind of like at the back of my mind.
Sometimes patients find it very hard to explain conditions. They don't tell you all the information, or they're just embarrassed or ashamed and don't want to tell you all the information.
Max, Dr. Christian will see you now.
Often talking to partners on their own can provide you with the whole other side to the story, which opens the picture up and actually means you can target the patient with the right treatment. I'll have a seat there for me. I just thought I'd have a chat with you because very often behind somebody's medical condition, there's another person who also has to deal with that medical condition, but no one ever sees you or talks to you, or do they?
No,
really?
not normally.
So I thought it might be useful and just to explore your thoughts and feelings and that sort of thing. Is that all right?
Yep, no, makes sense.
Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on Ceri and what's going on with her.
She's less happy than she used to be. I feel like she overthinks things, so because she gets obviously worried about poisoning herself effectively and having to plan all her food, she's become more anxious.
How much do you think her symptoms are caused by foods, and how much do you think they're caused by her own anxieties and her own fear of what might happen?
I feel like sometimes it can be as much in the mind as it is in what she's been eating. She's always been OCD. She's got like a bedtime routine that she sticks to very closely, for example. So she spends far too long brushing her teeth. Could be a half-hour teeth brushing if she's being really serious, and then she'll kind of do a tour of the room to check there's no like spiders in there because she doesn't like spiders. And then she always flips the covers and checks under the pillows and goes like that, which is, I guess, a kind of control thing.
It's exactly what I think this is. It's checking her food, reducing things, leaving things out, minimising the diet. It's control, very much so, you know. And I wondered possibly if there wasn't hints of an eating disorder underlying it in a way.
Do you feel that it actually enables her to stay slim?
And that's something we should be worried about.
Hello.
Hello.
Can we have a look at the gluten-free recipes?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to feel like I would betray her by saying there's a lot going on in your mind there. I don't think it's something that can come from me initially. Better for it to come from a medical professional, authority figure.
So, how did it go?
Well, I feel really reassured that there's nothing like horribly wrong with me.
Good, yes.
Which is good. She mentioned a different medication and the relaxing of my diet, which is scary.
Definitely, I think we can make you a little bit more comfortable, which should enable you to be able to relax your diet a bit. You've got very used to one way of being. Do you think there's a bit of obsessive or compulsive element to the way you control food?
I think probably there is, yeah. And it's just kind of reinforced itself over the last year. Yeah.
I think that sort of thing should be addressed in psychotherapy. What are your thoughts?
Nobody's ever made the connection between the mental health and the physical health with me before. And I think that was an important one to make.
Good, good. What do you think, Max, about that?
I agree. Anything that can relieve that, I think, would be a big help, definitely.
And to you too.
Yeah, and to me too. It does weigh on me quite a bit to kind of take the brunt of her unloading her problems every day. Created more of a distance in our relationship than there has been in the past. So anything that can alleviate that pressure would be great.
Until today, I didn't realise how much it actually impacted you. I guess I'd never really fully considered just how the small things impact your day-to-day life.
I think it's because I'm quite laid back. I don't allow it to show any real strain.
I suspect this will be a concern for Ceri, that all of this will be taking its toll on Max and things may change. Max, is that likely to happen?
As far as I'm concerned, Ceri and I will be together forever, so she really doesn't have to worry about anything like that.
I can't imagine my life without you.
Same here.
Yeah. I do feel guilty that I've been very self-centered and kind of everything, recently has been about me, when it rather than about you, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
I've had 2 sessions with the psychologist now. It's going to be a long journey, but got a spring in my step for it. And the big news this week is that I reintroduced dairy successfully, which is great. So I'm looking forward to having some ice cream.